Yes, yes, yes. We're back. We're back with Clock It with AD Bryant. I want to thank you all for coming in on today's show. It's an exciting one. I'm going to tell you, it's exciting today. But we have to explain the rules. You know the rules. It's a 15-minute clock. And when that clock go off, game is over. But I want to tell you all, I know I've been missing in action, had a little health setback, but you know what? They set you back so you can come back. So I'm back. And I'm back and I'm ready. I feel good. Got a little scratchy throat, but I feel good, y'all. Today's show, it's one of those things for me that makes me excited about what I do and who I do it with. And I'm not going to prolong this show, but I'm going to tell you, if you want to comment, go to YouTube. Go to YouTube and at AD Bryant 34, and you will see all of our social medias. Subscribe. They're scrolling at the bottom. Subscribe so that you can integrate with us. Now, I'm going to tell you something I did today. So, when I make a mistake, I make a mistake. But you know what? This is my show, so I can make a mistake. So the call-in number, I didn't activate it today. So it will send you to voicemail. But you can leave me a voicemail if you like. But we're going to go ahead and get this thing started. This guy is not only a colleague, but he's a good friend of mine. Been knowing him since he was a player. And as you know, Alabama A&M University had a leadership change in their men's basketball program. And after a lengthy search, what some people call a short search, but it was a focused search, they came up with the guy that won the job. So without further ado, let's bring him in. He's the man. That's Coach Donte Jackson.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, Coach. What's happening, man?
Man, not too much, man. Just chilling. Out here on the grind, man. On the hill, trying to make some noise, man. Make some noise on this recruiting circuit. So I'm just out here enjoying the time. How can I say? Meeting a lot of people, and then more importantly, man, fielding a lot of calls. So ready to get rolling.
And I know you are. Well, let me tell you how this show rolls, man. It's a 15-minute show. There's a clock right there, right? And when that clock goes off, game's over. Now, a lot of people ask, why do you have number 34 up there on the clock? Well, 34 was my basketball number. So, again, this is my show, so I'm going to have my basketball number.
I knew that.
So here we go. So I'm going to start the clock, Coach, and we're going to start the game. All right. Clock starts, and there we go. Game time. So, Coach, let's talk about something. Let's talk about you. Okay. Some people don't know. Tell us where you actually played high school ball.
So I played at two places. So I started off at Greenfield High School, and then after I transferred my sophomore year to Milwaukee Hamilton High School, I played for the legendary Jim Jones. So Jim Jones was still today one of my favorite coaches, man. Jones was a tough dude. Might only be about 5'9" in stature, but if he yelled, you knew exactly what to do. I remember, the days of in his practices, he'd throw a ball at you. If you miss a layup, you're running all type of different stuff. Things were different back then. You can't really do now. So man, I definitely appreciate Coach Jones because he definitely gave me my first start of really understanding what it meant to be a coach.
You know what, man? So I'm gonna tell you something, Coach. So um we have some comments, right?
Yeah.
First, I gotta say this. Corey said best AD in the game. Thank you, Corey. We love that. But your boy off script said, I think it's funny that we act like we don't know each other. Bruh, come on, man.
we stated the obvious. We know each other.
But yeah, we know. I'm gonna tell you what's funny is this is an interview off script. Now, let me tell you something. Off script is his show is so dope, man. He has helped me navigate some waters here. So give you a big shout out off script. But Coach, you said you played at Milwaukee, or you from Milwaukee. Now you played at Milwaukee, Wisconsin, right?
Yep. I played 2 years at Wisconsin, Milwaukee, redshirted 1 year. Then I had opportunity to transfer to Central State University in the great state of Ohio. So
wait a minute. Hold on. What did you say?
The great state of Ohio.
Clock it. Let's go. All right, Coach.
Yeah, I had spent 15 years in Ohio, man, in the Dayton area. So excited about that.
Yeah. Corey Williams said it was great meeting you at the spring game, Coach. So he's from the Hill Live, So
as they say, yo.
Okay. One of those things, huh? But Coach, when you transferred to Central State, I know that was a different vibe there from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But what was the transition like?
Transition was it was different because I went from being at an institution of about 20,000 students to going to an institution of about roughly 2,000 because it was during a situation where Central State was going through some financial stuff, and how can I say, like the football team left, and we had a legendary football program back at Central. But then, transition was a little different, but it was easy because I was still playing basketball. I was doing what I love to do, and I had Doug Lewis, who was my assistant coach, who became the first coach that hired me as a coach. So he was at Wisconsin Milwaukee with me, and when he left the Central, I left the Central with him. So the transition was the transition. At the end of the day, it was about getting education and playing basketball and getting wins.
You're right. So I do know Doug. Doug has been a pillar in both of our lives, and want to give him a shout out too. Coach, and from the Hill Live said, if you're from Ohio, you best AD gonna let people know. Absolutely, because it's the great state of Ohio. But Coach, as you played, and then you start coaching. You were the assistant coach at Central State, and I remember playing against you first when you played. And I was coaching, and I always admired your leadership. So seeing you make that transition from a player to coach wasn't surprising to me. And then from the assistant coach, you became the head, right? So how long were you a head at Central prior to going to Stillman?
So let's just say I was at Central State for 11 years altogether, 7 years as the assistant coach, and then I got hired as the head coach at 30 years old. I spent 4 years as the head coach. And then after that, one of the youngest head coaches in the country, Kellen Winslow, thank him because he's seen something in me as far as a leader. And then I had the opportunity to come down to Stillman College in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
So just for the record, this is for Scotty. Who hired you at Stillman?
Dr. Paul Bryant.
Okay. So at Stillman, I know you went in there and you won some championships. And you know what? During your press conference, there were several of our alums here at the press conference at Alabama A&M, and one of the things that they said was they saw you coaching in the tournament. What tournament was that? And it was here somewhere in Huntsville?
Yes, so it was we're the D2 national the D2 national tournament. The South region was held at Hunch at UAH. So it was held right over there, and made it to the second round. We beat West Georgia. Was something that they didn't consider HBCUs to be able to do, beat outside competition. So we went out there, beat West Georgia. It was a really good game. Beat them. Lost to UAH on their home court in the round of 32. So lost to them maybe by 4 or 5 points, and then it was a close game. And then, that was that. Then came back the next year. We dropped athletics at Division II athletics, and we went NAI at Stillman and ended up winning the national independent tournament and all that good stuff. So, 3 straight years at Stillman, 3 straight championships. So it was an incredible time in Alabama during that period.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that because I end up leaving Stillman, and after it's funny because you were upset with me because after I left and went to South Carolina State, I hired you and then left, but you won 3 straight.
No, I wasn't upset. I mean, I remember us having a conversation. I was like, man, you'd have brought me all the way down here to leave. But I was like, no, at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you. And I was really happy for you because, the thing of it was you was getting your first AD shot and at the Division I level. And that's, at the end of the day, man, I want to see everybody achieve their dreams.
Right. You know what? And you did say that, and I totally appreciate that. But then going to, you left Stillman and went to Grambling. And Grambling, you've been there for 8 years? It's been 8? 8 years.
8 years. So, I appreciate you coming to Grambling and leaving.
I know,
but no, you brought me to Grambling, man, and listen, that was an incredible situation, man. That first year we was together, man, it was like poetry in motion, man. We made a lot of good things happen that first year. Won the regular season title outright. Unfortunately, we had APR sanctions that year. We couldn't get a chance to compete in postseason, but just being around you, just having your mentorship, just being able to talk, on a regular, talk basketball was great, man. So one of the reasons why, throughout my whole journey as a coach and everything, you've been, constant as a pillar and somebody I can look at as a mentor, somebody I can look at as somebody who can help mold me or help my decision making in situations.
We have shared a lot. And at Grambling, I remember someone in administration said he has to win the first year. And not only did you win, you came in and won, and then you won National Coach, Ben Jobe National Coach of the Year. You did a lot. And I don't want to underscore what Ben Jobe's Coach of the Year meant. Ben Jobe's Coach of the Year, that is a huge honor because it's the best minority coach in Division I. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Best minority coach in the country.
In the country, not HBCU. Best minority coach in the country.
Yep. In the country.
And that's what it's all about. And your boy Derek Hodges said, "Let's go. Let's go."
That's my brother right there. That's my brother. All hell, let's see, baby.
Yeah. And then also Jennifer Murray said, "Hello, she's from the Hill." So we're excited about that. And then as you stayed at Grambling, got some extensions. Tell us about how many championships you've actually won, or how many times you've been in the championship. Just tell us about those accolades.
So I've won 3 regular season championships in my 8 years at Grambling. We won 3 regular season championships. I believe that's been the most for any coach in the league. We've been in the championship game. Been in the championship game twice. We lost the year before. 3 years ago, we lost in the championship game. Then we won it last year in the championship game. Been in the semifinals numerous times. Always been a top 4 program or so in the league, at the top of the league. And the thing of it is that had numerous all-conference first team and second team all-conference players. 1 player of the year. It's been great, man. It was a great run there. 2 Ben Jobe National Coach of the Year. So, I mean, one of the only people to win National Coach of the Year twice. I think I might be the only person to win National Coach of the Year twice. So, to be totally honest, so I've been blessed. To, it was a good run at Grambling, but it's time to start something new here. Now it's time to start the next run. Right.
So, as you transition here, and we're going to transition to Alabama A&M University. This is just a game, right? That's this platform. It's just a game. And I'm going to tell you something. People don't understand exactly the mentality that you have, and that mentality is not to be defeated in any aspect. And so talk about your mentality.
Well, I tell people all the time, man, it's we got to find a way to win. I'm a positive guy. I want to be positive in every outlook I look at, but I'm gonna find a way to win. Like I'm not an excuse driven person. We're gonna find a way to make things happen. And I just look at people like, I won't say I got the Mamba mentality or whatnot, but if it's either three things in my situation, either you with me, you against me, or you in the way. And the last two don't work. So it's like I'm on that all the time. Like I'm just on that type of business. So that's the mentality I'm on, man. I want it. I gotta have it, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get it done.
Yeah, I've seen that. You see, Corey Williams said he's a dog. Yeah, he's literally a dog now, bulldog. But your mindset is something that I'm truly interested in being around our young men. So when we talk about what your focus is, how do you transfer that over into your kids?
Well, I tell I talk to my guys all the time. I got this word, I call it feed. And I tell them all the time, feed. Focus, effort, execution, discipline. Those are the main four things that you can achieve anything that you want to achieve. So like when we walk in, you got to feed yourself. You got to have focus on whatever task you have. You got to have effort on whatever task you have. You got to execute the task. And then more importantly, you have discipline. Even when you don't want to do it, you still do it. And that's, you got to feed yourself. And I tell them, either you eat or you get ate. That effort, that attitude, and toughness is one of the things. So, and that's the way you say you can have effort, attitude, and toughness, or you can have attitude, no toughness, and no effort, and you get ate.
Right.
So feed. You got to feed yourself, and you got to eat. That's one of the things I go through all the time talking about.
One of the questions, and that was, Corey has one of my questions, and that's about recruiting. How's recruiting going for you?
I was going good, man. This phone is ringing off the hook, man. The thing about me is like being from, living in Ohio, being from Wisconsin, being a Midwest guy, through and through. I got connections all over the country. So I get this phone is ringing off the hood. It's hotcakes. I got so many people calling with players left and right. We actually got a big visit coming up. Got some big visit coming up. So, so I'm excited, man. So I'm excited, man. Phone ringing off the hook, man. We're going to do a great job of recruiting the state. We're going to do a great job of making sure guys stay at home. But more importantly, we want to do a good job of winning and recruiting. And we want to get the best player that's going to represent the institution and represent the athletic department on the court.
You know what? Yeah, again, I've never seen you not have a solid recruiting. And again, your base, you can go from Ohio, Milwaukee, Alabama, Florida, you name it. And that's the connections that you have. But I have to ask this, we got about 45 seconds. And they always wait till the last to give you the best news, right? So there's some good news coming on. And you told me that you are super excited about. So now, before you say it, the From the Hill says, so we the Chase, Feed, and Big Energy T-shirts, AD Bryant. Clock that. Yes, sir. Clock it. But coach, and you know what? If the time go off, Humble Bully, they're giving us a little extra time. So I'm going to just say this. What's your big news that you want to share with everybody?
Man, my big news that I want to share with everybody is the fact that I'm bringing my whole staff, my whole championship staff, the whole NCAA tournament staff is coming to the Hill. Coming to the Hill. Like I appreciate my guys, believing in me and taking another opportunity, and I appreciate them packing their families up to come be part of this opportunity. I mean, it means a lot when, when guys come through and say that, man, I'm going with you, coach, like no matter what. And that's everything. So for like my associate head coach, Kyle Jones, been with me 8 years. DeVaris Walker been with me 3 years. Cameron Prather, who's tied in so deep in Alabama. He's from Nashville, coached at Wallace State, had numerous JUCO All-Americans. And then my Jerome Gray, who's from Milwaukee, who helps with our national recruiting. Man, we are on a whole nother level, man, to have these dudes come.
Hey, well, I'm gonna tell you something that fires me up too, because I know when you look at the staffing, and I'm just talking, about the last 3 hires at Alabama A&M, and that's Dawn Thornton, the women's basketball coach, her staffing, that they came in and they were quality staff, and and again, I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm just talking about who we have on the roster right now. So we have Coach Shade. Yesterday, Coach Shade introduced his staff to the former football players. I thought we had a whole NFL staff on our field, man, because you talk about quality of staff. Now that championship pedigree, that's what's important. Now you come with a championship mindset, a championship staff. I am excited to see what y'all do on the Hill.
Listen, I'm excited to be here and I'm fired up. So I've been ready. This has been an opportunity that I've been waiting for. Hey, I'm fired up. It's time to turn this thing up.
Well, man, I'm gonna tell you something. It was mentioned in the comments that the Hill is behind you. They are so happy that you're here. They're so happy to be behind you because we all are dogs, and you say be a dog, and we're gonna have that. And from the Hill podcast, we're gonna do a T-shirt. The Chase, that's a football. B, that's men's basketball, and then Big Energy, that's women's basketball. We're gonna put a T-shirt, but hey, stay tuned. There is a caravan going around. That's gonna be those 3 coaches that I just mentioned, along with their AD, Paul A. Bryant, and we're gonna come to a city near you. So stay tuned. And the time is up, bro. That means the game is over.
I'm glad we got to go in overtime, though.
Hey, man, yes, sir. But you know what? We thank Humble Bully for allowing us to go in overtime. He said, I'm not a bully, but don't push me.
That's their motto. Not push them.
But remember, y'all, it's just a game. It's just a game. So be humble. Stay humble. But most importantly, be your best. And I want to thank you all. God bless and good night.
Peace.